Welcome to the Serengeti. It is a vast open plain in Tanzania, Africa. This incredible place is home to some of the world's most amazing animals. Imagine herds of wildebeest and zebra stretching as far as you can see, but among the grasses, powerful predators are always on the hunt. The Serengeti is a tough neighborhood. Lions, leopards, hyenas, and cheetahs all live here. They must compete for food and space every single day. This constant struggle for survival makes it one of the most exciting and dangerous places on Earth. It is a world where every moment counts, and a single mistake can be your last. On this particular day, something truly extraordinary happened. A filmmaker was there to capture a moment rarely ever seen. It started with a group of cheetahs. 3 male cheetahs, all brothers, were chasing a female. This wasn't a hunt for food, it was a mating chase. The males were completely focused on the female, running at high speed across the plains. Their calls were loud and intense, echoing across the savannah. This noisy pursuit was a display of their strength and determination. They wanted to show the female who was the best and strongest mate. This behavior is a critical part of their lives, ensuring that the strongest genes are passed on. But their loud, frantic chase was like ringing a dinner bell for another, much bigger predator. Hidden in the tall, golden grass, 2 male lions were watching. These were not just any lions, they were huge, powerful males in their prime. They are the undisputed kings of this land. While the cheetahs were lost in their own world, the lions began to stalk them. They moved with silent, deadly purpose. Their massive paws made no sound on the dry earth. Their eyes were locked onto the cheetahs, seeing them not as a meal, but as a problem that needed to be solved. The scene was set for an epic showdown between speed and power. Cheetahs are the fastest land animals on the planet, built for incredible bursts of acceleration. Lions, on the other hand, are built for brute force and teamwork. They are much bigger and stronger. Usually, these 2 predators keep their distance. A cheetah knows it is no match for a lion in a fight, and will almost always choose to flee. But today was different. The cheetahs were so distracted that they failed to notice the immense danger creeping ever closer, a mistake that would have devastating consequences for them. The cheetahs were completely caught up in their dramatic chase. The 3 brothers were so driven by their instincts to mate that they paid no attention to their surroundings. Their minds were filled with one thing only: the female. This is caused by a surge of hormones like testosterone, which can make animals incredibly bold and reckless. They fought with each other, swatted at the female, and continued their noisy pursuit. It was a whirlwind of spotted fur and desperate energy. They had completely forgotten the #1 rule of the Serengeti: always be aware of what is around you. Suddenly, the female cheetah seemed to sense something was wrong. She darted up a small tree, trying to escape both the males and a new, unseen threat. But her panic was short-lived. She jumped down and the males immediately cornered her in a thick bush. The chaos continued, and their focus remained entirely on each other. One of the male cheetahs even made a brief, brave threat gesture towards one of the approaching lions. It was a rare sight, but it was a foolish one. The cheetah quickly realized its mistake, but by then it was far too late to run. The first lion exploded from its cover. It was a terrifying blur of muscle and claws. The lion wasn't interested in a long hunt. It was a swift, brutal ambush. It lunged straight for the female cheetah, the original prize of the chase. In an instant, the lion grabbed her and delivered a powerful, crushing bite to her skull. This is a technique lions often use to kill the cubs of rival lions. The attack was over in seconds. The female, who had been the center of all the attention, lay motionless on the ground. The ultimate predator had made its move. The most unbelievable part was what happened next. The 2 remaining male cheetahs seemed not to understand what had just occurred. Even with the massive lion standing over their dead companion, they continued to fight amongst themselves. Their hormones were still driving their actions, blinding them to the mortal danger they were in. It was a shocking display of how instinct can sometimes override the most basic survival sense. They were about to learn a very hard lesson about the hierarchy of predators in this wild land. With the female cheetah gone, the lions turned their attention to the males. A second male lion, just as large as the first, now joined the attack. The 2 kings of the savannah moved together with perfect coordination. They were not playing. This was a deadly serious mission. The cheetahs finally seemed to snap out of their trance and realize the terrible situation. The instinct to flee took over, but their hesitation had cost them precious time. The lions charged, and the air filled with dust and the sounds of a desperate struggle for life. The lions were not hunting for food. When a lion hunts for a meal, it usually kills its prey with a suffocating bite to the throat. This attack was different. It was violent, quick, and personal. One lion pinned a male cheetah to the ground, holding him down with its immense weight. The second lion then delivered a fatal bite to the back of the cheetah's neck, breaking its spine. They did not eat the cheetahs they killed. This puzzling behavior has led experts to ask a very important question. Why would the lions do this? It wasn't about hunger. Experts like the famous lion researcher Dr. Craig Packer have a strong theory. They believe the lions were eliminating the competition, but it's not just about competition for food, as lions and cheetahs often hunt different prey. Lions go for big animals like zebras, while cheetahs prefer smaller gazelles. The real reason is likely about protecting their own families. Lions see other predators, including cheetahs, leopards, and hyenas, as a potential threat to their cubs. Lion cubs are very vulnerable, and many are killed by other carnivores when their parents are away hunting. This attack was a calculated act of what we call competitive infanticide. The male lions were proactively removing any animal that could potentially harm their future offspring. They were ensuring their own bloodline would survive. In fact, a separate video once captured a female cheetah actively stalking two tiny lion cubs, which gives strong support to this theory. The lions were not being needlessly cruel. They were following a deep-seated instinct to protect their legacy and maintain their dominance on the plains. It was a brutal but natural part of life in the wild. This incredible event teaches us a lot about the different survival strategies of these amazing animals. The cheetah is a specialist built for speed. Its light frame, flexible spine, and long tail allow it to become the fastest runner on Earth. But this focus on speed comes at a cost. Cheetahs are not built for power. They cannot win a physical fight against a larger predator. Their main defense is to run away. That is why they are so vulnerable, and why they typically avoid confrontations with lions at all costs. They must rely on their sharp eyesight and quick wits to stay safe. The life of a cheetah cub is especially dangerous. In areas like the Serengeti with many predators, a shocking number of cubs do not survive. Some studies show that up to 90% of cheetah cubs are killed before they are even 3 months old. Lions, hyenas, and leopards all pose a constant threat. Mother cheetahs must be incredibly vigilant, constantly moving their cubs to new hiding spots to keep them safe. This constant danger is the main reason why cheetah populations are struggling in many parts of Africa. Every single cub that reaches adulthood is a true survivor. This showdown was a raw and powerful glimpse into the brutal reality of the natural world. It shows us that nature is not always peaceful. It is a constant battle for survival, where animals must make life or death decisions every day. The lions were not evil, and the cheetahs were not foolish. Each was acting according to the instincts that have allowed their species to survive for thousands of years. The lions were protecting their future, while the cheetahs were driven by the powerful urge to create a new generation. What we can learn from this is that there is a delicate and often violent balance in nature. Every animal has a role to play in the ecosystem, and their interactions, even the fatal ones, are part of that system. This rare event reminds us how much we still have to learn about these magnificent creatures and the complex world they inhabit. It is a powerful story of instinct, survival, and the unforgiving yet beautiful law of the wild.